Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Everyone, and welcome to episode 52 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. I'm back another week of showing up perfectly imperfect. I'm sticking to showing up and being here, giving you guys all these episodes to listen to, fun concepts, things you can implement into your lives, and hopefully help with you being who you want to be, having the relationships that you want to have. And yep, I'm doing it imperfectly over here. So I want to mention about this podcast, each episode I do, I am truly sticking to the whole concept and striving towards the whole idea of being imperfect. I don't edit these podcasts, these episodes. I don't, I do them in one take. So what you get is what you get. And there may be some, background noises here and there, some interference, and it's just all part of the imperfect process. So I hope that you are enjoying the imperfect ride that you're on while listening to this. And, enjoy the perfectly imperfect episode of Flexible Love. I'm super excited about this concept. I actually started to think about and develop this concept and these ideas for this podcast months ago, but I ended up not recording it then, and here I am today with it for you. And I think it's even better than what I had before. So here we go. Now, what is flexible love? Well, flexible love is this idea of loving the people or the things throughout the changes that may occur. Loving them not despite of the changes, but because of them. This idea that even though things may change, you, your spouse, your relationship as a whole, your family may change, your circumstances, right? Your circumstances may change. Now you can still use flexible love to embrace these changes. This is what flexible love is, embracing those changes and welcoming the uniqueness of your relationship, of your circumstances, of yourself, of your spouse, of your family. And just embracing all the growth and the evolvement of you and the people in your life. So I have created this concept and this idea of flexible love. So to start, in order to adopt and implement this new concept of flexible love, we have to look at what current thoughts, patterns we may want to drop or we may want to change that we're having. So let's look at a common scenario. So often we date and then we get married and have some sort of idea of the life we will be living with our spouse, right? We have this idea in our mind. We have, possible expectations that you have set for yourself and your relationship to be in a certain way, to fit a certain mold. Many times we have talked about certain things. Usually these big wants we may have talked about these with our partner or spouse. We may have talked about our desires for our life before getting married. You may have certain expectations for your life you may want to have with your spouse, right? You want to meet these expectations with your spouse. and have this certain life and fit this certain mold and meet this idea that you have in your head of your relationship. Now, this is common, right? Now, possibly in this scenario, some time goes by, and let's say things change. Maybe some of those expectations aren't met. Maybe you and your spouse, maybe you guys change in some way. Your changes may occur in what you want. Your desires may change. Your interests, your values may change. For some examples, maybe this has to do with kids or jobs or where you live or even just your relationship as a whole, how you see it, how it is, how it's showing up. Now, if we hold on to the idea that things should be different than how they are, we suffer. Let me repeat that. If we hold on to the idea that things should be different than how they are, we suffer. We experience pain because we think the thought that things shouldn't be this way, or I expect something different, or I didn't sign up for this. Now, these thoughts that create pain and suffering are only existing in your mind because you aren't embracing the changing reality. You're embracing the reality that's in front of you of what is. When we fight against reality, we suffer. So what I am suggesting, there's some imperfection for you, and offering to you as a possible way of approaching this is loving with flexibility. Flexible love. Being okay and embracing people changing. Embracing and being okay with your relationship growing and your life evolving into something different than what you originally thought it would be. Than that plan you had in your head, that idea of your relationship. The way your partner showed up. It may be different, right? People change, people evolve, people grow. You, your partner, the other people in your lives. And if you can let your love bend and not be rigidly defined with labels or past wants and desires, instead of suffering, you can enjoy this journey. If you can let your love bend, you can enjoy this path that you're on so much more. So this idea of flexible love includes loving through a curious and compassionate lens. It includes letting go of your rigid ideas of how you have planned out your life together and giving yourself the opportunity to bend and grow and evolve as your lives bend, grow, and evolve, right? Flexible love allows you to drop the need to control or manipulate your spouse. You are enjoying and embracing the changes, so you don't need to control them in any way, right? You're there for it all. You're there for the changes. You're there for the expectations that are not being met, right? The ideas and the wants that you had before. It has changed. And you're there for it all. So you don't need to control. You don't need to want the person to behave differently. Because you're embracing the changes with this flexible love. It includes letting your spouse and other people be exactly who they are and letting yourself be the growing and changing you as well. It includes working with reality instead of against it. So you're not fighting what is. Instead of suffering, you are loving. Instead of suffering, you are enjoying. And instead of suffering, you are thriving as a person and together possibly, right? Now, let's say your relationship changes so much that you two decide not to be together. Or one of you makes that decision for both of you, right? Well, if you can drop into flexible love, drop into this concept of embracing those changes, right? You can make peace with the reality of the situation. Your lives changed. Your lives evolved and they grew. And it just so happened that, yes, things didn't work out as you originally hoped they would. But that's okay. Because with flexible love, you aren't attached, keyword attached, right, to your original plan for your lives. You can let that go. You can be sad, of course, right? I'm not suggesting that we be positive and happy about everything that occurs in our lives. Not at all. You can be sad. You can be hurt. You can be disappointed. Embracing those feelings and allowing those. Processing that clean pain. But here's the key here. You won't be suffering thinking that things should be different when you embrace that flexible love. With flexible love, you know they shouldn't be different because they aren't. You're embracing that reality of what is. And you can still have love for everyone in the situation, you and your spouse, if this is what occurs. Now, it's important to remember that life is a 50-50 experience. I talk about this a lot on this podcast, right? Life is a 50-50 experience of both positive and negative emotions. So knowing this allows us to get comfortable with that negative 50% of life. Those negative emotions that we will experience. We could actually enjoy it all, knowing that sometimes we want to feel negative emotions. We choose to, right? We want to be sad at times. We want to be hurt at times. We want to be disappointed at times, right? So sometimes we want to feel these negative emotions, and it's simply just part of life. So rather than resisting that 50% of those negative feelings, right? Rather than resisting those feelings that come up, you have that opportunity to embrace that 50% with flexible love. You can enjoy your entire experience even when it's the 50% that's negative. People change, people evolve, and people grow. So you can either fight against reality and suffer, or loosen your grip on your love. Loosen your grip on the expectations you had for your life, for your partner, for yourself, with this flexible love. So try it out. Try it out by looking at yourself, your spouse, and your relationship through that compassionate lens. Try it out by dropping your expectations of what you wanted, what you thought your lives together would be. And try out the thought, nothing has gone wrong here. See if that fits. Of course, all thoughts need to be believable in order to truly have an impact, in order to feel the feeling that will come from it and take those actions that you want to take and create what you want in your life. So try it out. Nothing has gone wrong here. Or if that's too much of a stretch with whatever situation that you're dealing with and experiencing, try out adding on to the end of your current thought, and that's okay. Those 3 words, and that's okay. So for instance, if you have the thought, I didn't expect our lives to be how they are now. Add on to the end of that, and that's okay. So I didn't expect our lives to be how they are now, and that's okay. This will open you up to wiggling out of thinking rigidly, right? With those expectations about your life. And it allows you to drop into things, thinking things have changed, evolved, and grew. But that's okay. So try it out. See how it goes for you. Try out this idea of flexible love and move away from thinking rigidly about your relationship, your life, you, your spouse. Embrace the change. Embrace the growth. Embrace the evolvement. Show up for it all. Be there for it all. Get comfortable with that 50% that may not be so comfortable, and know it's all part of the experience. So you have the option to let your love bend, right? You have the option to let your love bend, to truly enjoy all those twists and turns that your relationship and your lives may take. Because life is full of twists and turns. You're going to experience those at times. So if you can be flexible and love through it all, you can't go wrong. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to take all of this further, please reach out. You can head on over to whitneywellscoaching.com and sign up for a free 20-minute chat with me, and we can do some coaching, chat about my relationship program. If you want to sign up, there are only a few spots left, so I suggest you jump on those if you are interested. It's a 3-month program, and we can really transform your relationship into what you truly desire for you and your spouse or your partner. And we can create that connected, happy, loving, fun-filled relationship all in 3 months, and all only with you having to be involved, which I think is so appealing. You don't have to rely on somebody else. You can do it. You can do it yourself. This work is able to be applied on one end and change an entire relationship. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at whitney@whitneywellscoaching.com or sign up for a free session. And if you liked this podcast, this episode, feel free to share with your friends. Rate, review it, and I will see you all next week. Have an awesome week. All right, bye. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you're interested, simply head over to whitneywellscoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.